How's everybody doing? Good. Well, what we've tried to get the players to do is really focus on what we need to do to get really good execution. I know there'll be a lot of emotion involved in this game, being a rivalry, what's at stake, which I know everybody's talked about and I think everybody's aware of, including the players. So we're trying to get everybody to focus on what they need to do to execute, play winning football, do it for 60 minutes, be able to overcome adversity, have poise, to be able to continue to play through whatever happens in the game. So that's kind of been our focus and what we're trying to do. The players have responded pretty well to it. You know, tomorrow being Thanksgiving, we'll move things up a little, try to get some of the players that are in a 2-hour radius the opportunity to go home, have the other players come to various coaches' house. We got a lot of guys coming to our house, and sort of at least have a, if they can't be with their family, at least be with in our family with us and some of the coaches and their families. From an injury standpoint, I know you guys are going to ask me about these guys. All right, look, all these guys are at a different stage of rehabilitation, rehab, whatever you want to call it. They're all able to practice to some degree. I can't sit here and tell you any of them are healthy enough to play in the game. Not healthy enough is probably not the right word. Able to practice enough to be able to be in the kind of playing shape they need to be in, to be able to go out there and do their job. And that's going to be a decision that we have to make from A, medical standpoint, then B, how much were they able to do? Can they be effective? And C, do they feel like they can go out there and do their job relative to where they've been affected, how they've been able to be effective in practice? And that's not going to really happen until the game. All right, so you can keep asking me about it all you want, all right, but that's basically all I can tell you. And it's my bet. I'm betting my practice plan and script that somebody will ask about the injured players.
I have a question about the injured kicker.
He's an injured player too.
What
did you put up?
What is Andy's status? Do you think he'll be able to kick on Saturday, and will he be one of those game time decisions as well?
I think he'll be a game time decision, but we're hopeful that he'll be better. But we really won't know until the game.
Back over here on the left, Michael. Just asking about the punt and kickoff return teams. How have you seen progress from them throughout the year?
Are you asking about the punt return and the kickoff return? Yeah, well, you know, we haven't got the kind of production out of those two teams that we'd like. I was a little better in the last game, but we've obviously gone through changes as to who the returner is, and we always haven't been able to execute effectively. Kickoff return, we've had a lot of changes in personnel. As soon as we feel like we're starting to make progress, and there's a lot of times this year where 10 guys go out there and do exactly what they're supposed to do, and one guy breaks down, and that particular guy cost us probably a very positive play on the return. So it takes all 11 guys to do it. Everybody's got to do their job every play, and we continue to work on it and focus, because that can be a real weapon for you if you can win in special teams.
Up front here with Mark.
Just wonder how you've seen those injured guys sort of help lead the younger guys, even though they've been out and not been able to play.
All those guys have done a really good job. I can't say anything but positive things about their disposition toward their work ethic for them to get back, how they've tried to support their teammates. I mean, Sean Dion's out there coaching guys just about every day. So when Mika couldn't practice, he was coaching the guys every day. So, and all the guys have tried to stay involved as much as they could and do a good job in terms of what they need to do to get back, but also what they can do to help the players who are playing.
Coach, the last one we got here is with Alex.
I don't know if you count him as an injured guy anymore, but Minka, you know, obviously when he was injured and dealing with the hamstring, you limited him on the field. Do you feel like he's full go, can do whatever you want him to do on the field Saturday? Or
Did you bet anything? If you didn't bet anything, you didn't put anything up, it's not worth the answer. mean, I did not name specific injured players. I just said all injured players. Is that right? Minka's been practicing. I'll say that.
Okay.
You have a question?
Did you have one? Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
Actually, yeah, just wanted to get your thoughts on the fact that, you know, with certain players, I mean, whether they play in the practice time, is that contingent upon the position they play sometimes, based off of whether they can actually get back on the field if they're injured, the scope of their position, and the type of position they play?
Well, I think injuries can be a factor relative to what you have to do at your position to be successful. An offensive lineman can play with an injury that a defensive back couldn't play with. So I do think it does have some significance. If you're at a position where you have to strike a blocker every time or block someone every time, certain kind of upper body injuries are more difficult to deal with than maybe having a twisted ankle. So I think it does have a lot to do with it, and that's why we always say, as a player, I always ask the question, do you think you can do your job? I know you want to play. Every one of these guys want to play. But can you go out there and effectively do your job? And you have to have the maturity to be able to answer that question truthfully and honestly based on your physical condition as well as your mental, psychological disposition, whatever you want to call it, in terms of being confident enough to go out there and do what you have to do to be successful. And in closing, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I think this is a great time of the year. We all have blessings that sometimes we take for granted and don't always sort of take the time to be thankful. But I also think we should be thankful for a lot of the opportunities that we get, even when those are difficult, hard. They all have positive lessons for us to learn, can make us better, and we can grow from them. So I hope no one out there has that many difficulties to have to deal with, but we certainly wish you a very happy Thanksgiving to all of our supporters, all of our fans, all of our family, all of our players' families. Very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.